Ahead tonight, Prime Minister Christie optimistic about the region's financial growth.
Also ahead tonight, the national healthcare industry gets a major upgrade.
And government spends $250,000 to transform the straw market industry. The Bahamas tonight, the national report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The region is looking at ways to become more competitive in the ever-changing global landscape, but the nation's prime minister is noting that if the region can't crack the back of crime, any effort would be wasted. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. The prime minister was addressing what has been called the premier events on Jamaica's business calendar, sponsored by that country's stock exchange. And as Opal Roach tells us, he looked at ways to expand beyond traditional boundaries and helping to grow the entire region.
Regional financial minds and other experts came together in Jamaica to look at ways to improve the financial services sector. The group of professionals zeroed in on competitiveness and exploring new markets at a time when economies are still reeling from the financial crisis. But as countries regroup and overcome this hurdle, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie, who delivered the keynote address at the Jamaica Stock Exchange Investments and Capital Markets Conference, told the experts that their efforts will be in vain if Caribbean countries don't get crime under control.
The issue of crime is of acute concern to all of our countries. We must also acknowledge that we must come up with bold, innovative strategies to combat the scourge of crime, the fear of crime, to combat terrorism and illegal migration in all of our countries in the region. The negativity of crime will surely cause us to lose out all around if it is perceived that our cities and our communities are unsafe to citizens, to tourists and investors alike. This holds true not only for our tourism industry, but for the financial services and investment sectors as well.
And as they address the issue of crime while positioning the region in the international arena, another area of concern in building stronger economies is youth unemployment. Mr. Christie warned that failure to address this will be to the region's peril.
We don't need to know that the way terrorism now works is to take advantage of people who are unemployed and whose level of despair has reached a point where they have very little hope or no hope at all. And we cannot ignore that. We must not ignore it. We have to take advantage of the thinking power of our region. We have to have our region focus on the ills of our region. And the ills of our region are the young people of our region. And what are we going to do about them?
Now, the conference theme also focused on reaching beyond traditional boundaries. And in doing so, the country's leaders said that regional governments must give attention to those at the bottom of the ladder as much as they do to those at the top.
When we speak about economies, when we speak about making it right for those who are trained at university and those who could understand the stock exchange, there are a body of people in our country that have a fundamental right to participate in the equity of the country. And our humanity will be judged on that. And as we make progress, as we speak to progress, as we speak to economic development, we must not lose sight of this fundamental obligation we have as a region to pay attention to the least of our brethren.
The Prime Minister then encouraged regional delegates attending the Investments and Capital Markets Conference to think globally and act locally in developing strategies which will improve the well-being of the Caribbean. In Kingston, Jamaica, I'm Opal Roach, ZNS Network News.
Major upgrades are in the pipeline for the country's healthcare system as Ministry of Health officials strive to improve the quality of service and create a more efficient and customer-friendly environment for Bahamians. The upgrades, which will in the end amount to millions, are all set to begin in just a matter of months.
The Chief Medical Officer explained the details of this massive transformation to our Cleopatra Murphy.
The Public Hospitals Authority says it's implementing measures to strengthen and improve accessibility to the public healthcare system throughout the country as the Bahamas moves towards universal healthcare. Phase 1 of the transformation will come with the addition of a new maternity ward at the Princess Margaret Hospital, a new accident and emergency section, and a $500,000 renovation of the West End Clinic in Grand Bahama that will for the first time allow for 24-hour emergency service. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Glenn Benaby says to implement national health insurance, the healthcare system must be improved through physical infrastructure and inpatient care must be changed to outpatient experiences.
Wards in hospital will be moved into residential and home care environments. There's training going on with the staff to improve what they call soft skills, how we deal with people, how we speak with them when they're ill. And sometimes people are not sensitive. But when you're ill, you want people to treat you with TLC, they call it, tender loving care.
A release from the PHA Tuesday outlined expected improvements that include the acquisition of a new facility for general practice and specialty clinics on Grand Bahama. Also included are 10 new 2016 model ambulances, 22 new pharmacists, 22 physicians and nurses, 2 radiologists, 3 surgeons, and 9 biomedical engineers will be hired to work at healthcare facilities throughout the country. The radiology department at PMH and the Rand Memorial Hospital are also set for a $9 million transformation that will see the addition of state-of-the-art MRI and CT scan machines, while outdated equipment will be replaced. Benaby says efficiency will not improve immediately, but the effort is important.
Because you're creeping now does not mean you will not run. Even the best athletes at one time creeped. So let us be positive. Let us work together. Let us set the environment that will allow us meaning all of us, every single Bahamian, to have a better quality of life.
He says the aim is to bring equity to healthcare while recognizing that the Bahamas is not New Providence. That in mind, officials will create a more integrated healthcare system with the purchase of a new software to link all 108 public health clinics.
And so when we're looking at equitable services, that means we are trying to balance the services throughout our Commonwealth. We have to utilize all of our resources properly. We intend to involve technology, telehealth and telemedicine to improve on that.
With these improvements and the implementation of national health insurance, Benaby says the Ministry of Health is aiming to improve overall health in the country by 2030. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Cleo. With the mosquito-transmitted Zika virus now spreading throughout 18 countries, and the Pan American and World Health Organizations putting countries on alert to monitor for any possible birth defects as a result, Ministry of Health officials confirm it has not reached the Bahamas. Director of Public Health Dr. Paula McMillan says symptoms associated with the virus are rash, reddening of the eyes, and muscle aches, all similar to dengue fever. She says pregnant women in particular should be careful and take necessary precautions because of their vulnerability. Health officials are preparing in the event the virus hits our shores, but McMillan again reminds the public to eliminate any standing water in and around their homes.
One infected mosquito can bite many, and we do not want to be in a position of having to, manage excessive amount of ill persons. And certainly I can't stress it enough, given the association that has come forward now as it relates to pregnant women and what the potential is for adverse outcomes with babies. Definitely pregnant women have to be on high alert.
The Bahamas Insurance Association say they support the idea of universal health care, but they're extremely disappointed in the way the plan is being implemented by government. Tina Cambridge, who is a member of BAIS National Health Insurance Committee, says their biggest concern is the lack of consultation between government and all relevant stakeholders.
Something that is going to touch the pockets of every one of us. It is going to touch every person in our country. We believe that in the Bahamas we have enough professionals, enough qualified professionals, enough executives, etc., to lend to the process of delivering to the Bahamas a proper universal healthcare platform. Let us come together and help the government to come up with a plan that is sustainable for the Bahamas.
With national health insurance registration now underway, Cambridge says there's still too many unanswered questions. Given the challenges with existing infrastructure, Cambridge says the BIA doesn't believe the current model will work for an archipelagic nation, while BIA member Lyron Burrows again expressed concern about the entire cost of the plan.
We don't want any one of our citizens left out. So we think that upgrading the healthcare infrastructure and meaningfully, and be transparent about it so that we all understand what it is that we can truly deliver at this time from the public purse, because remember, we're told that we're not paying for this.
What is the ultimate cost of national health when it is fully implemented? What are the exact stages that will be put in place, and what are the time frames for its implementation? One of the scariest things is to launch something and then have no idea as to what is going to happen after that launch.
The government continuing its $250,000 investment to improve a key feature of the country's tourism product. Already, millions of dollars have been spent constructing the downtown straw market, and as Carla Palmer tells us, officials say work at other markets will also continue.
Chairman of the Straw Market Authority, Kevin Simmons, along with members of his executive team, say they've been busy since taking office in 2012, improving conditions at straw markets nationwide.
We in the Straw Market Authority are doing our endeavor best to ensure that our buildings, all of them, are maintained to the highest standards that they ought to be. We have embarked on, since this board, major renovation to the downtown market. Apart from the nurses station and the surveillance camera, we have just done some renovations to the bathrooms. We are looking at proper lightings. To date, we have spent over $200,000 on renovations, and a long way to go.
Not only is the straw market downtown Nassau getting its share of upgrade, but the facility on Paradise Island as well. Simmons describes the work at that location as a massive undertaking, estimated at some $250,000.
All the electrical wiring needs to be looked at. We have just completed the bathrooms. We've commenced work on some of the straw booths there. We also have to look at the foliage around the place, making it more appealing. I admire the vendors over there for having to endure what they have endured. But we will make it right. We will make it presentable for them and their customers and their guests to have a wonderful straw market experience.
Then there's the straw market at Fort Charlotte.
Fort Charlotte requires a brand new building, period. There's no market. So that has to be done. Likewise, I'll say Harbor Island and Exuma likewise have to be done immediately.
While the straw markets may not all mirror each other, facilities manager at the downtown branch, Basil Hyler, says one thing will remain the same.
Our vendors, our visitors, and our staff are very, very secure. We have a very excellent working relationship with the police department. We have security surveillance cameras, and as you can see, the police have their security cameras, so we feel very, very safe.
Straw Market Authority officials say they have their work cut out this fiscal year, but they're up to the task. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Still to come, BTC CEO comments on the company's future.
And find out why 8 people were arraigned in court today. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.